Sweet. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the new Millennium Falcons, a Falcons podcast. I'm Hunter, joined with the boys. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Fleek at Ron Rico Season. It's good to be back on a Victory Wednesday this time. Can't wait to talk some ball.
Oh, I guess I'm going next. All right, cool. Savion Mixon up in the building, you know what I'm saying? Hey, at Mixon S _ NFL on Twitter. And yeah, I had to make sure that I came in here to talk about my sins that I made on the last pod.
Yes. Yes.
What's up, fellas? Kenny G here. Grit Splits on Twitter. Hanging with the boys tonight. Finna talk some ball. Victory Wednesday. Taste delicious, like Fleek said.
Yes, sir.
That was a game. I'm not gonna lie. Like I thought we were gonna win, but man, I was worried going into that because we're the Falcons, and
Yeah.
we're kind of known for stuff like that. But
I
think we're finally starting to change that tune a little bit.
It
The team's got some
feels like
fight.
it, bro. It feels like it, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not getting ahead of myself, but and I know there are a lot of key players missing on the other side of the ball on defense for them, but it was just so good to see the Falcons play a full game. Because when the 49ers rallied in the second quarter and evened the score, it would have been very easy for them to dominate that game from there on out. Because I was afraid that might be what happened. But, nah, our boys made plays and they came through.
It was nice, right? Because, Ayuk scored that second tutty to tie it up, and you already knew the vibes were getting to be pretty bad. I think I said in the group chat, I was like, hey, man, if anyone wants to live bet the Niners right now, I ain't going to hold it against y'all. But, hey, man, complete game. We closed them boys out. Exciting times, man. Exciting times in the A.
The last thing I think I was looking for was for them to shut out a Shanahan offense for 36 straight minutes. That was not on my bingo card going into this game, I promise you. So shout out to them boys, because they did exactly what they had to do to dominate the second half of this game, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Hey, and you know what? I think a big part of, and I know I'm just jumping right into stuff here, but a big part of the Falcons playing so well, I think, was they played mistake-free football. And that's just simply what it was. Like, everything I saw this game, I've seen flashes of in every other game. But, they just did it for 4 quarters this time. And that's what made it so beautiful, and they didn't make mistakes. Mariota, I think, literally only had 1 or 2 incompletions the entire game, And, yeah, he didn't throw for 300 yards. He didn't have 4 touchdowns or anything crazy like that, but he was efficient. He was efficient on the ground when he scrambled. And actually, I think the 3rd and 13 that he converted in the third quarter was huge for us to regain momentum, because even then, I felt like the momentum was swinging into their pendulum, because we had got to 3rd and long again, but Mariota made a play. So I come on here and I rag on Mariota a lot, but he showed me something this week.
NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Marcus Mariota.
Yes,
sir. That blows my mind the most of all the things that happened, I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's crazy.
We came on this pod and we talked about Mariota so much, man. We needed another quarterback to kind of go off so that this didn't happen. But now he's the best player offensively in the entire conference. I don't know how we come back from that, guys. I really don't. I really don't.
I mean, if Mariota keeps up the level of play that he was at, I will happily just I'll eat the crow that I said earlier this season.
Are we keeping the positive vibes going, or do we have to have a little dose of reality?
I think we need a dose of reality.
Okay, all right.
We can get there.
Wait. Positive vibes for a little bit longer. Let's get through the game recap.
Yeah, no. That's why I asked. All right.
Let's get through the game recap first.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's relive the victory. Recap it, Savion.
All right. So the player that I think should get number one, the most credit right now,
Mhm.
I have to say is Caleb Huntley. And the reason why, Caleb Huntley, Tyler Algier, the entire Atlanta Falcons backfield, because those guys kept plays going, and they they set the tone for this offense. They kept drives going, they kept drives moving. They were the success rate for for the Falcons on Sunday. So huge props to them.
Absolutely. And even the runs that's like, hey, give me three the hard way, bro. Like those runs, I love those runs the most because they wear down the defense over time. And the deeper you get into the game, obviously, as we saw, the more the holes open, the defensive line is tired. So you get to see a little bit bigger runs. I know at first it was about, 3-4 yard runs, but eventually they started breaking loose. So, like, Arthur Smith is not afraid to stick with the run game. And I respect that because, you want to be as efficient as possible. And I think running the ball as much as we do is the best way for our offense to do that right now.
40 times.
Yeah.
40 rushes in this game, man.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
I don't know how often we'll be in position to run the ball and pound the rock like that, but it's nice, man. And I've got this theory that these Selly brews them boys were throwing back at the end of the game had a lot to do with that, man. I know for a fact that Caleb McGarry had to have been the most excited out of all the boys.
I said the same thing, bro.
If that's how you got to light a fire under his ass. Hey, fifth year option declined, and every game we rush for a buck and get a dub. Selly
Yeah.
brews, man.
Yes, sir.
Bro, I think people are sleeping. I think people are sleeping on how much Jake Matthews impacted that with his Texas A&M background. Come on, you know that man used to throw down some Selly brews over in College Station.
Oh, yeah. They're
Facts.
known for that down there. And it's crazy, bro. Like, even stuff like that. The team is fun, bro. The team is fun again. And when y'all asked me before the season, what do you want to see to feel like you had a successful season? Because I, at this point, probably didn't even think we'd be 3-3, to be honest with you. So I just said I just want to be fun again, and I want to see progression. And I feel like I've been getting that. I feel like I see progression in Art's play calling. I see progression in the talent on the field. And this team is clearly better than last year's team. Even if we don't end up winning 7 or 8 games, I feel like I can see already this team is, I don't want to say way better, but this team is better than last year, for sure.
I mean, I think that it's pretty indisputable that there's a bit of a talent gap between this roster and some of the other ones in the NFL, including some of the teams we've played against. But we haven't been outmanned in a single game this entire season. I mean, the first half of the Bucs and Rams game were a little sketchy, but they stayed in it, man. And that you got to chalk that up to coaching. And as you said, that just shows how far Arthur's come as a head coach in his second year. And we're stacking games, we're stacking dubs, and if we can keep building off of this, there's some good football in the future of this franchise.
Yeah.
He has this team firing, though. Like, that's something that's so different than last year, is the team just didn't have the drive, I think, to really be competitive. Like, we saw them blow the games. We saw them give up and roll over. This year, the team's not doing that. Like you guys were saying, this team's been willing to compete and stepping up in every single game. And I think that's been the best and most exciting part of this team. It's fun to see a team compete again.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, like, I just want to say this, like, when I was on the timeline last year and a little bit of the year before last about, how it's time to move on from Matt, it wasn't because I didn't think he was a good player. It was because there's seriously something to be said about starting over completely from scratch. All of that energy from all of the past teams are gone. There's literally one person here, and that's Grady. You know what I'm saying? So you brought an entirely different energy to the table this season, I think, than you even had in the building last year. You know what I'm saying? Because there's still remnants of bad vibes in there, bro. I could tell. I didn't get my air samples last year, but I could tell. I could see it through the TV screen, bro. It was
not
bad
the air
vibes in Mercedes. I didn't get it that time, but I'm telling you, bro, like, it's just something different. And Art is hitting his stride right now, and I'm hopefully he can continue to adjust, and because I know people are watching film, and I know that these runs in the NFL don't last forever because teams figure you out. But I have to have hope that Art can adjust, and we can see through the season even better. You know. But all of the talk about, I've been seeing some tweets about, why would the Falcons take a quarterback because we run the ball so much. I don't know if people know that we run the ball so much because we don't have a great passing game. Because obviously coming into
What
the
happened to the
season,
positive vibes?
oh, sorry, I didn't got
Wait a
into
minute.
it.
I was
Yep,
gonna say, we're
my
jumping
bad.
into this way sooner than I thought.
Wait a minute.
My bad. You're right. My bad. You're right.
You were spitting,
That's
Malik.
because it's been on my mind. Because I seen that and it's just been on my mind. I'm like, bro, I gotta say something about it. Like, don't think that this offense won't become better with a better passing game. I mean, we're dominant on the ground, but the best offenses are always balanced.
True.
Very true. But I mean,
Go ahead, Sage.
you know what? I gotta say, Hunter. I mean, the best player on the field on Sunday may have been Marcus Mariota. I mean,
It's weird to say.
13 of it's. I don't feel right saying it. He was 13 of 14, 129, which I mean, I guess isn't world beating, but like you said, 40 yards on the ground. I mean, or was it 40 or 60? Real quick, was it 40 or 60?
Oh, I'm looking it up.
Let me see. I want to say 40 because I think he had like 160 odd in total.
I think you're right. I just want to make sure. Either way. I mean, he made a impact on the ground and in the air. I don't know. I mean, he did what he had to do to make sure that the team was moving down the field. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he was the best player on the field Sunday.
He had 50 yards on the ground. Listen,
50,
Nice.
yeah.
I get he may have been the best player on the field, but 179 yards from your starting quarterback, that's not sustainable in today's NFL. It's not.
Correct.
And I'm not,
Yeah.
obviously, this is not a knock at Mariota because he played great. That was his best game as a Falcon.
Fact.
Yep.
But, like, this offense of us rushing it 40 times, teams are going to catch on. It's going to be tough to sustain. I would love to see us sustain it because I like seeing the Selly beers. You know, like it's a very nice thing to see. But we have to figure out a way to make the offense sustainable, which it might just be for the season of us doing this, and it might work. Next year we might innovate to something different. I don't know. But it's just not sustainable. Your quarterback can't put up 179 yards, and you hope to win every single week.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Think that this is our ideal identity under Arthur Smith is to, in his own words, run the piss out of the football. You know, he wants to do that every game. I don't like, as you said, it's 14 passes a game is sustainable with the Cubs. And who knows how long it'll last. The right teams will eventually catch on, but like I said, it's identity right now, you know, and it's a nice thing to have because last year's team,
There was no identity.
we didn't have an identity. There was no identity.
Yeah, at
It was
all.
it was an inefficient run game and a short pass game that couldn't generate any yak. You know, it was very boring game to watch last year. I'm just happy that we're building. You kind of see the vision come to life.
Yeah. And
So I had a
CP,
choice.
yeah, I was gonna say CP coming back soon. I think is gonna be helpful as well. I mean, we got some not tough games coming up because some of the teams that I thought were going to be really tough matchups aren't playing as well as I thought right now. So maybe we're actually catching some teams at a good time, or at the best time we could. That doesn't mean anything's going to come easy at all. But I feel like if not now, when? You know what I mean? And I'm really interested to see how this goes because this isn't new. Staying like middle of the pack and in contention for a while and then dropping off. I never in my wildest dreams this offseason would have thought that we would even sniff 9 wins or anything crazy like that. But I am really interested to see how the rest of the season turns out and if we're in the race until the end. Because I think it's a possibility.
All I'm saying is 9 wins in the NFC right now. The NFC is looking a little wonky right now. 9
Yeah.
wins might put you in the I don't want to say the P word, but it
Yeah.
might put it'll get you where you need to go, maybe.
Yeah. And that's something that I didn't even, it wasn't in my mind at all in the off season. So I'm just happy that I can sit here and even float on this cloud for as long as it'll last. It can all come crashing down for me Sunday. It really could. But you know what? Today, Wednesday, I'm gonna enjoy it.
This is a good question from our boy Trey, who is recovering at the moment. But if teams are going to catch on, why haven't they yet? Do y'all have any ideas as to why? Or
Okay, so in actuality, right? So the scheme has been run heavy the entire season, but the run the piss out of the football thing didn't start until the second half of the Browns game, where he was like, "I'm taking the
Mhm.
ball out of Mariota's hands, and we're just gonna run the hell out of the ball and win that way." So I mean, it kind of started 2.5 games prior to this one. So I think teams will eventually catch on. I mean, 2 games, yeah, I know these other teams have film as well to look at, like the Seahawks game and the Browns game. But I don't know. I just feel like the more we start stacking weeks, I don't know. I just feel like they'll catch up to it. It's just
We're
not
only
sustainable, like
33%.
Hunter said.
We're only 33% of the way through the season, and a thing that Arthur does very well is he runs a lot of concepts out of a lot of different formations. I mean,
A lot of different
um, the,
formations.
the guys at the Athletics said something like, we ran 11, 12, 13, 21. We ran so many different formations in this game, and we ran them all over like 15% of the time or something like that. And it's just like he gives a lot of good looks out of a lot of different formations, and that combined with, even when we run the ball, they got to account for Marcus. They got to account for the RPOs we run, the option plays we run. We're just throwing a lot of different things at a defense right now. And yeah, some of the better, more talented teams, some of the better coaches will probably key on to that kind of stuff as the season goes on, as they get more tape. But right now, I mean, things are clicking.
Right.
true. One
Yep.
thing
Yeah.
one thing I liked about what Arthur's done this year is I'm a huge soccer fan, so this is kind of a soccer term. But his thing that I think he likes to do is kind of like essentially parking the bus. He likes to score early and then just dominate the clock and dominate the possession. Is let the other team struggle in that regard. Like I feel like he wants to score quick and then just after that just run the ball down your throat. Because if you're too busy playing catch up and you can't get on the field, you're not going to win. You know.
Right.
Mhm.
But I feel like that might have some issues down the road. But I feel like right now it's just working perfectly.
No, and that's where
Yeah.
mistakes happen too. And every mistake that San Francisco made, I mean, it looked like it was magnified by at least 10, because it's
Yeah.
like it's like the Falcons weren't making any mistakes. They just kept the football going and they kept the clock running. And so it's like any mistake that happened, that long play by Ayuk that got called back for a hold, the what was it? The seam ball they dropped, the
Oh
freaking
yeah.
post route that AJ almost gave up, that
Yeah.
McLeod dropped, all that. I mean,
Oh, that was insane.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was bad. But I'm telling you, like every single mistake, it was like, God, dog it. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they were like, yo, we can't afford these right now because we don't have many chances. So
And you
yeah,
know what?
I think you may have a point there.
And you know what? That goes into kind of what I was trying to say earlier. Like, all right, for instance, we play the Bengals this week, right? Those long methodical drives and those pound the rock drives are a thing of beauty until you play a team that can score in 2 minutes and 3 minutes. And then you're right back on the field and you have to pound the rock, pound the rock, pound the rock again, but then they can score fast again. So I'm interested to see how we keep up with a team like the
Mhm.
Bengals. The 49ers don't really have the deep threats, and they even should have hit on a few more big plays than they did because of the drops like Savion mentioned, and the Ayuk bomb that got called back. So those are plays that the 49ers should have connected on. And the Bengals are way more prolific on offense, vertical wise, than the 49ers. So And we're down
And they're
Casey
catching
Hayward.
their stride right now.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of things that aren't favorable for us this week. But like, if our defense can be opportunistic, I think we have a chance. I think that's the key to the next game.
It's a very unique challenge coming our way against the Bengals. With the Niners, complimentary football was a huge part of it. We were never in a negative game script in that game, and we shut down the run. And that's something that Shanahan is known for, his run game, and our no-name defense shut them down. And I call them the no-name defense because outside of Grady, I mean, we don't have any stars. We have Dean Pease and his madman methods just dialing stuff up. That look where it was just Grady as one down lineman, and then it was like Arnold, Carter. I think Landman was in on the play, and Rashawn standing over. Like, Dean Pease does some stuff that I don't quite understand. I'm not going to front, but it's working. It's been effective, and it's so much fun to watch.
Bro, Nate Landman, as much as he's gotten this season, like especially last game, that just blows my mind. Like, he's not a guy that I thought was going to see the field as much as he has, and it doesn't make any sense.
I wish Trey was
here. It's awesome.
Man.
Oh my gosh, he would have a time with that. But like, it's fun to see, like you said, Kenny. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I know it was against some second string linemen, but AK looked really good on Sunday. And I noticed that. I mean, we all could see that even before we looked at the all 22. I'm sure, because I saw a lot of tweets on the timeline, and when you got a defensive lineman that pops like that, like not Grady-esque, but somebody who's flashing and you can tell that they're improving and you can see it, is getting me excited because he maybe didn't have the fastest start, and I know that's against like lower level competition than most tackles will give him. But to have a game like that could be a good thing for his confidence. And if he's confident in his moves and stuff, I think he'll be really good going forward. I'm interested to see how he helps in the pass rush.
Malone flash too, man. It was nice to see. And like as you said, like, yeah, these are some undermanned units we're going against, but it is what it is. These guys are doing what they're supposed to against who's lined up across from them. So yeah, I mean, maybe there's a little bit of an asterisk there in some of the the way we've been dominating the line of scrimmage, but regardless, man, they're showing up, they're showing out.
It's NFL talent regardless. Like, these guys were still some of the best at the college level. And I mean, that's just the thing is you play who you play. Obviously, like, there's some aspects where it's like, oh, man, I would have loved to see AK actually go against their starting lineman. But it's just the fact of that's what the cards we got dealt. Cool. He executed. He did what he was supposed to do, like you were saying, Kenny. Like, that's just how it is. Like, there's not much you can change about it. And yeah.
Absolutely. So Sunday, right? Speaking of the defensive line and the Bengals offensive line, right? And tell me if I'm off in this. This is just my belief, right? Casey's out, so I'm not sure if Darren or D. Alford would take over.
Darren. I'm pretty sure.
D. Alford's unfortunately on the injury report, so
really,
we'll see. I believe he missed practice with a groin injury today.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
All right, but Darren made two amazing plays last week back to back, to get the defense off of the field last game. And he looked good in spots that I seen him last season too. So, I mean, we'll see how he'll hold up. But like, we all know the three-headed monster that we're going to see is like, it's tough for any secondary, especially when you have, one of your best guys down. The pass rush is going to have to get there Sunday. It's going to have to, because I don't know how long the guys are going to be able to cover. Of course, if we play, mainly zone, Joe Burrow's going to just eat up the zone. They're going to find the soft spots. Chase is going to sit down in spots, and they're going to eat it up. But if you play man-to-man across the board, do you have the talent right now to do that? You know what I mean? So I think the defensive line is going to have a big game.
May I interject?
Yes, please.
No, we do not. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. We're not gonna play three better wide receivers the rest of the year than what they're about to throw at us this week. And unfortunately, The Saints let them have a get-right game against him. Jamar Chase is back to being Jamar Chase. And I know we're all going to have our eyes on the rematch between Jamar Chase and A.J. Terrell. You know, I believe it was last time they played against each other was that the Clemson LSU natty. Yeah, I don't. You know,
that's the one.
Let me backtrack. We're not going to touch that.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to play. We're going to have to play a lot of two. We're going to have to play a lot of two high. We're going to have to play a lot of zone. And as you said, that pass rush is going to have to put in work. That Bengals line, although retooled, the early return on investment has been kind of mixed. They haven't played that well. So we got to take advantage of that. And I think that, you know, getting off to a fast start on both offense and defense is going to be of the utmost importance in this game.
One thing I'm really excited about is the matchup of Dean Pease versus Zach Taylor. One thing, I think it was Nate Tice was talking about how essentially vanilla and bland a lot of the blocking concepts and even the like pre-snap things that the Bengals have been running this season have been. And I think Pease will hopefully be able to take advantage of that to just give fits in some regards. Like you were saying, they obviously outmatch us talent-wise. That's some of the best offensive skill positions in the NFL right now. And it's going to be hard, but I think Pease will hopefully have some stuff to, you know, like you were saying earlier, mad scientist-esque, to throw at Zach Taylor, who I don't think is a good offensive mind, at least by NFL standards.
I think he very much benefits from the talent on that roster and, you know, Joe Shiesty back there.
Joe Shiesty.
Joe,
oh no, I was gonna say Joe Shiesty will throw you an interception though. That's the thing. If we can make plays on the ball, and I know I keep emphasizing that, but it's because of the way our offense is. We have to be able to create turnovers. That's the only way I see us having the chance. Unless Mariota has a really good passing game. Like if he comes out there, he's just on point and accurate throughout the entire game, then I think. But trying to go blow for blow, shot for shot with the Bengals, I don't know if that's your best.
No, we're not ready for that yet.
No.
The Bengals have kind of changed, like going off of what Hunter said about Zach Taylor and how vanilla and bland he is. They did change some stuff up last week. They've been running out of shotgun a little bit more than they were the first few weeks. So that's going to be an interesting. That's going to be an interesting dynamic to deal with. I think they would like to get Joe Mixon going. He only had he didn't have a lot of touches last week, but I think they'd like to get him going against us. They probably view us as, you know, a bit of a get right game for him personally because he hasn't really played that well this season, but they're going to throw a lot at us, man, and I'm excited to see how that chess match works out.
Is DJ Reader going to play this week?
He was out last week. I do not know if he's going to play. I sure hope not. That's big. That's big because teams have been able to run on that defense, so there is an edge for us there. You know, if we can create some explosive plays on the ground, it's going to go a real long way towards, you know, putting it in the paint, obviously.
Absolutely.
That's where our juice is. Our juice is from our backfield. Our juice is 100% from our backfield. I'm sorry, guys. I think I'm on like a real bad delay because I'm driving. But, yeah, our juice is from our backfield. So we need to make sure that we get our run game going immediately, quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah. And quick question, right? Is this the last game that CP has to be out on IR, or is there two more?
I think he has 2 games.
Two. Mm-hmm.
2 more? Okay. Man, I'm ready for him to come back too. Do you guys think we'll see him play receiver more at all when he comes back?
I hope so.
I hope so too, in a way.
It'd be cool. I don't really know if that's how it would go. It'd be nice. He obviously has a skill set for it, but we don't run enough receivers in our, you know, formations. Like we don't run.
That's true.
Like we run 11 at one of the lowest rates in the league. So it's like, I mean, could he take OZ spot and play the Z? Yeah, probably a little bit. But OZ, he's been, hey man, you talk about development. Arthur Smith has coached the hell out of that guy. You know, he's come a long way since this time last year. And he's like, he's the same size as me, but he's tough, man. He's a tough player, and he's been eating on them deep crossing routes off the PA, man. He's kind of been our big play guy in the passing game.
He has. He has. He's really stepped up big time. Like you said, he's progressed. And even in the offseason, I remember Arthur Smith saying OZ was one of his favorite players he's ever coached. And you can tell that he's coached him up a lot. Yeah. Because when he said that, I'm like, wow, OZ out of all people, but it's really showing on the field this year.
There's a quote from Arthur Smith last year talking to Russell Gage, and actually JR, who I think is in the chat right now, I remember him pointing this out to me, and it's stuck with me ever since. He said to Russell Gage, he said, hey, remember, you're not a finesse guy anymore. And that kind of stuck with me because you can tell that he wants these receivers to be physical regardless of how big they are. He wants them to go over the middle, make plays, not be scared. And it shows in the way that he's coached them up, as well as, why we took Drake London. So it's just an interesting note that stuck with me for a while.
Yeah. That kills the Calvin Ridley returning dream right there. That alone
100%.
just ends it. Knife to the heart.
Yeah. And our wide receivers have been doing a great job blocking on the edge too.
Yeah.
On the perimeter, I should say.
Yeah, they have. No, but all I wanted to say was you could tell from OZ, like that one catch, that hands catch to get the first down, he attacked the football while it was in the air. Like that's something, I don't know. It's small, but it's stuff like that you can kind of tell. Like OZ, like the OZ that I remember was the guy.
Ooh, rough spot.
Yeah.
Savion, I think you hit a bit of a rough patch. I'm gonna.
But no, I think like what he was saying though, like
damn straight, Savion. Damn straight.
When OZ made that play though to get the first down, I can't remember I think that was a third down too. Like I think he had to get it there, and the swiftness in which he did it, I don't know, little stuff like that makes this season feel different than last season. Like I just feel like that wouldn't have happened last season, even though it's just so minute. It's such a small detail, but this team fights for extra yards. They make the most of every carry, of every reception, every yard after catch. They just play with a different energy. You can see it. And as a fan, frankly, it feels good to see. Because I'm gonna tell you what, after the Saints game, when we lost that way, that's all I'm gonna say about that. I didn't know if this season was gonna be more of the same. The story of we go up big, we lose it all. But this team actually has more fight than I think most people thought. And people trying to pin us in for playoffs and stuff, I don't like that because I like when we're underdogs because I feel like we play up that way. Yeah. I don't like the whole playoff talk right now. We're still who we are. We still have things to work on, and it's good that we're having success in a way, but still got to pay attention to the progress because it's going to be some growing pains still. Every week isn't going to feel as good as this week felt. And I know we have a lot of people that watch this on our Twitter, so that's why I say that because I see a lot of tweets and people they're doing what I usually do every year. They're getting up. They're going all the way up, bro. And it's like, just guard your heart, man.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Basically, what Fleek just said perfectly, and until the playoff part, because I have an article coming out about that, so you're not gonna enjoy that, Fleek. But
oh god,
yeah, there's just a different feel.
Absolutely. Logan Wilson is out. Wow, I didn't know Logan Wilson.
Forgot about Logan Wilson being out, to be honest.
Apparently, it was a pretty significant injury he suffered. Like the feeling from Cincinnati fans was they're relieved that he's only going to be out like a month or two.
Oh wow,
jeez,
man. So yeah, our run game should really eat.
But as long as Reader doesn't play, we should eat. Logan Wilson's a hell of a backer, though.
He's good. Yeah. I really wanted him to, when he came out from Wyoming. He's a good
Appreciate
player.
You listening to us.
Yes, sir. What's up, my guy? But yeah, man, it's just interesting and jumping into like the player I'm looking forward to this next week. It's
Okay.
Mariota. I mean, it's Marcus Mariota, and that's the easiest thing to say. But like, I just feel like we're gonna need more than what we gave last week to win this game. And I don't pick the Falcons to lose. So in my mind, I'm creating this perfect offense, this perfect passing game for next week to get us to keep us in the game until the end and give us a shot to win. So if Mariota can be who he was last week as far as taking care of the ball, but a little bit more explosive in the passing game. I can't think of the exact word, but 179 total yards probably isn't going to cut it this week. He's probably going to have to hover around more of the 250 plus, I'm thinking.
I like it.
Yeah. We doing players to watch this week coming up?
Yeah. Might as
Okay,
well.
can I cheat?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have two.
Okay, yeah. As long as you're not stealing mine, you're good to go.
Richie Grant and Jalen Hawkins. We're going to need to limit big plays. We're going to need to limit big plays. We're going to need them guys to, make some plays on the ball. And they're going to need to be sound in their tackling because the Bengals, they can beat you deep. Jamar Chase, he can break tackles and take it yard. We're going to need those guys to play sound football. We're going to need them to make tackles. We gotta limit the big plays from Cincinnati's offense in order to stay in this game because, as we alluded to earlier, we don't quite have the firepower to get into a firefight with them. If we got to go touchdown for touchdown with them, it's not going to end well for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. No. Not at all. I'm very, very glad you said a defensive guy because that kind of goes into mine. Arnold Ebiketie. He's getting so close. I mean, he is so close. And I feel like if he can have a breakout game, which, it's going to be tough because, it's Lyle Collins, and I can't remember who the other tackle is right now. But it's
Jonah Williams, pretty sure.
Yep.
Oh, you hit another rough spot. Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
Yep. It always happens. It always happens when I'm like in the middle of something. As it comes to competitiveness in this game.
Not gonna lie, I missed most of that.
Yeah, same. But he was saying AK, I believe, Arnold Ebiketie.
Oh yeah. No, I heard that part for sure, and that's a great call. If he can get pressure, Jonah Williams has played like crap, dude. Like he has not played good football. Yeah.
I loved him as a prospect.
I thought he was a guard, but yeah, still I liked him as well.
That's so good to hear because, like Savion was saying, there definitely were a bunch of plays last week where AK was right there. Like if the ball had been held like 2 milliseconds longer, AK would have had the sack. There were a few times I felt that way. So if he could break through, yeah, that would be nice.
For sure.
That would be sick. For my two, I'm gonna go with one offensive and one defensive. I'm only adding a second. One offensive player so far. But my two are going to be Isaiah Oliver and Kyle Pitts. Isaiah Oliver just last week, he is good to see back. I love to see maintain the level of play that he was because I think he played solid for the most part. This week, an issue was all said and done, and so I love that. But then for Pitts finally scored last week in America, and I feel like people aren't talking about it on here.
Absolutely.
You guys slacking a little bit, but I would love to see him gain that and see how Arthur Smith uses him going forward, because I think he used him actually in a pretty productive way last week for the first time. That's not blocking, of course, or strictly blocking, but. Yeah. I don't know. I just like to see those two. Like I think they're going to be key contributors in our matchup going forward.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, Pitts only had 3 targets. He had 3 catches though. So hopefully as he comes off of that hamstring tweak, we can feed him more and more, which I'm not holding my breath for that
He only had
because
3
that
starts.
Right.
hasn't really been the case. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh my god. I felt like he had
Yeah, I thought he had a little bit more than that too. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize he only had 3. Mariota actually had a quote come out this week that said, he was saying, even when Kyle's slightly covered, he's open. So it's up to him to give him the chances. So Marcus realizes that, hey, Kyle is a guy that even if he's covered, I can give him a chance, and he can probably come down with this jump ball, this 50-50 ball. I'm hoping to see more opportunities like that. I'm just hoping to see him get him the ball more because Kyle Pitts is still a unicorn, and I know the production so far this season hasn't looked that way, but I think he's in for a good line of games here, and I think he'll start breaking out into his season that he'll eventually end up having.
Did you see the celebration? First off, he hit that dirty bird, and that was funny.
You gotta get him some lessons. He's got to
I
get
thought
to
he did all right, but after that he hit him with
that.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh, I saw that on the slow-mo video.
Yeah, yeah. I love that he's
funny.
playing into the unicorn thing, man. Love it.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, that dirty bird was a little something about it was a little off, but I say it's because he's been waiting to do it for too long. That was stored inside of his body for a year and a half, bro. He's been waiting to do that forever. So, yeah, it was awesome to see, though, man. Hopefully, now that he's gotten the first one, hopefully they come in bunches.
Right.
Hopefully. I want to see Drake London get back in the end zone too, man. He always makes a play when the play needs to be made, and he's so good to me. I just want to see him, get his yards and his touchdowns and stuff like that, just for the stats. But I know that, people are gonna end up saying, he didn't, catch for 1,300 yards or 1,400 yards, but the offense we run isn't gonna constitute that. Yeah. That's what I was kind of alluding to before the season. I didn't want people to look at his stats at the end of the year and think, oh man, he had 950 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's kind of it's kind of mid, but that's kind of the season I see coming from this offense for him, and that's very good in my opinion. For a guy who's
that'd be great.
Right,
that's a great season.
Yeah, and especially for a guy who makes plays when they have to be made. This is not garbage time. This is not empty yardage. He makes plays and comes through when he needs to. And his yak ability is translating over, and I'm really excited about that.
For sure.
Bold prediction right here.
Love it.
What does it say?
I'm here for the
He said Drake is going for 100 this Sunday.
Benji of the week. Lock it in. Drake London.
Benji of the week. I like that. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for the Drake London breakout game.
Wow.
Hey.
Hope it comes with a dub.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he is, Trey.
That's interesting.
And he's the highest rated rookie offensive rookie
in the league.
Yeah, that PFF rated.
Receiver or rookie overall.
If I'm not mistaken, I saw a tweet that said he was the highest rated offensive rookie in the league.
Wow.
I'm gonna double check that though, because when I saw that, I was surprised as well.
That's good stuff. If I could, real quick, can I point out some players on the Bengals defense that we should probably be, looking at matchup wise?
For sure.
100%.
Oh, I don't know where Hunt went, but
oh yeah.
So Trey Hendrickson, man, that's going to be probably the most formidable pass rusher we've gone up against since Cam Jordan in Week 1. So that's a matchup that we're going to have to look at. He usually lines up on the right side, so we'll see how that goes. And then Jesse Bates, he's one of the best safeties in the league. I'm not quite sure. He had a little bit of a down year last year, stepped it up in the playoffs. He's a guy that we kind of got to be aware of where he's at, what he's doing. And the last guy I want to point out to is a guy that doesn't get much love, and it's Chidobe Awuzie, former Cowboy. he's been playing corner at a pretty high level this year. So, we got to Drake, Ozzy, whoever he's lined up against, they're going to have their work cut out for him because he's playing some really good ball right now.
Got you.
Yeah.
So target Eli Apple, just like Twitter's told me.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Twitter is always
Just
right.
wanted to
Don't
make
you
sure.
know that?
Twitter
Yeah,
is
Twitter's
always
never
right.
wrong.
No.
Arthur Smith called us Twitter coaches the other day. in the press
Analytics
conference.
bros.
Analytics bros
That's what
and
we
Twitter
are.
coaches.
We are analytics bros.
We're the badge with pride.
Yeah.
Facts.
It's awesome though, man. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know, man. This team has so much potential and we're so young. And Mariota, he keeps saying in his press conference that he's here to help out a young team. And I mean, whether we see it or however we feel about him on the field, I think he's doing exactly that. Because when you listen to the players talk, they mention his leadership. They mention they're following
Yeah.
Marcus's lead,
Yeah. Did you hear Kyle Pitts?
Yeah.
Pitts is on Sirius XM radio talking about we're feeding off of the energy of Marcus Mariota. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, oh really?
He really is
All
the
right.
perfect bridge guy for us, man. Like, great.
Yeah.
As we said at the beginning of the episode, the way that we're playing with him probably isn't sustainable. We don't got to go back and all that. But for a bridge quarterback, which is what he was signed to be, to bridge us from the first part of this rebuild into contention, couldn't ask for anything more than what he's done the past 2 weeks. The 4 weeks previous, them turnovers, them untimely plays were a bit sketchy, but he's righted the ship the last 2 weeks. So and by doing so, he's lengthened the leash on his time as the starter.
Absolutely.
100%. Now we got to see it. We got to see it again. This is not a time for to kind of go all in on a 1 week wonder, but I have to say if it was just rust those first couple weeks, those first 5 weeks, and this is kind of what we get to see him using his legs and arms efficiently, both in dropbacks and scramble opportunities. I'm not mad at it. I mean, if I don't see Ritter until, I don't know, later on this year, that's completely fine. If this is what I'm going to get, I'm completely fine with seeing it, but I have to see it I have to see it more consistently. I have to see this Marcus Mariota more consistently.
Yeah. And hey, these past 2 games, Marcus Mariota is kind of the Marcus Mariota that we seen when he had to come in Las Vegas for Derek Carr a few games.
Yeah.
That's what he's starting to remind me of. So maybe he was knocking off some cobwebs and maybe he's hitting his stride now. I would love to see it. I'm the biggest Ritter guy.
Oh yeah.
I will never, if Marcus is playing the way he played, last week, I would never call for Ritter to start. You know what I'm saying? I would never want Marcus to do bad. I don't want people to think that. I think some people think that I want Marcus to fail so I can see Desmond, but that's not the case at all, man. I want Marcus to thrive because if Marcus thrives, we thrive, man. I just want to win. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow. Now then there were 2.
Okay. I don't know. You got anything else for us, Fleek? I do have one player I want to touch on before we get out of here because I got to get going soon as well.
Okay, what's up? Let me know.
Troy Anderson.
Yeah.
He's really displaying the traits that got him drafted in the second round by us, man. That punt return where Ray McLeod almost cribbed it.
Yeah.
Man, you should not see a boy that big moving that fast. He hawked him down, saved the touchdown. Really impressive stuff. And the box score, I think he had 13 tackles or something like that.
That's lead the team.
I believe so, yes. And that was very impressive. He did, the box score was a bit more kind than the film was based off what I saw. He did take bad angles, over pursue some plays. He's still very raw, and you can see that. But he's showing the overwhelming physical abilities that he showed in college, the numbers he put up in the combine. There's a lot of untapped potential there, and it's nice seeing him get a lot of run, man. I'll take the good with the bad with a rookie like that.
Absolutely, and I think it's kind of surprising to a lot of people that he's played as much as he. I know last 2 games, I believe Michael Walker has been out due to injury, and I think he comes back this week. I mean, they're
That's what they're
working him back
saying.
into things. Yeah, But man, it has been fun watching Troy run around out there because that dude is fast. He is fast. Because like you said on the punt return, I mean, he's gunning that way. McLeod's running this way. He evades the punter a little bit, but Troy Anderson just turns around and hits the gas and hawks him down. And he just looks like a beast just running, so big, just running that fast, hawking guy. He's like swallowed him in. And like you said, man, the raw athleticism there, when he puts it all together, like he's gonna be dangerous, man. I think he is the future at linebacker here, for sure.
It's very encouraging to see, for sure, man. When the mentals start to match the physicals, we're gonna have a weapon.
Yeah, for real. It's gonna line up well. And when is the last time we've had an elite linebacker? The potential that he has.
All right. Damn it, you're gonna make me do it. Deion Jones was an excellent ball player under Quinn for a couple years, man. So,
yep.
But all right,
yep.
we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah, we ain't gotta go into that.
We spent way too much time over the off season, the beginning of this year, discussing Debo. Hey, man, best of luck to you in Cleveland.
Yeah, hey, have fun. Hey, but the good thing is, man, we're young, we have potential, and whenever we get the quarterback situation figured out and a few more pieces sprinkled in, I think we'll be back into contention, true contention, maybe faster than a lot of people anticipated. And I'm down for it. I'm down for it. And going back to something I was saying earlier about OZ's progression too, maybe this staff is finally showing that they can bring players along. And that gives me hope for players like Troy because the potential he has, maybe this staff is the perfect staff to help him tap into that.
Player development's been such a weak cog in this Falcons machine for way too long, man, And, if we have a GM who can bring in the guys that our coaching staff can develop, we're going to build something, and we're going to be, like you said, we're going to be in true contentionship ahead of schedule. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Well, Kenny, it's always a blast, bro, having you on. Hopefully you'll come on a lot more this year. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me. You, Hunter, Savion, Trey. I love coming on talking ball with the boys, man, especially on a Victory Wednesday, as you said.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And hey, maybe we'll be talking about a Victory Wednesday next week. Oh, we didn't even get a chance to we usually do a prediction. And I know it's just us, so I'm kind of putting you on the spot. So who do you think will win, and what do you think the score will be?
Man, we've been so positive all show long.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I think that it's too tall of a task for this Falcons team to go into the jungle in Cincinnati against the defending AFC champions and get a dub. I think we're going to lose the game, but we're playing with house money here. It's okay. What I'm looking for is to once again compete. Stay in the game. Don't let it get away from us. Play hard for all 60 minutes. Keep the score close. And, I'll be happy with that. As far as the score goes, I'll hit you with 27-21 Cincy.
I like that. That's somewhere around the area I think the score will be. I'm notorious on here for saying I don't predict Falcons losses.
Okay.
But
don't start today. Don't start now. I know it's just the two of us, but this is being recorded, so they're going to catch on to you.
It's so tough. I'm not going to lie. For some reason, I feel more nervous about this game than I even did about the Rams game.
Yeah.
For some reason. And I think it's the wide receiver core they have, the offensive power they have, and the fact that we're predicated on the run game. And like I said, sometimes it's 3 or 4 the hard way. But I don't know if we have it on defense just yet. If we can get to the quarterback, that would be a huge help. But I'm going to say we win. I'm going to say the Falcons win 24-21. We're going to hold them to 3 touchdowns, and we're going to make plays, and I'm going to predict 2 turnovers, 2 costly turnovers for the Bengals, and I think that's how we'll win the game. See, you thought I was going
I did,
left.
man. You got me.
You thought I was going left. I can't do that to our dirty birds, bro. I can't. I got to rock with them every time.
We win Sunday. That timeline going to be out of control, boy. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You ain't going.
Hey, over 500 for the first time since 2017. That's the opportunity we have this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do that, this fan base is already feeling good this week. But if somehow we can come out on the winning end next week, yeah, the timeline is going to be crazy. It's going to be insane.
Yep.
It's going to be insane. All right, man. Well, I guess that's it for the episode this week. Thank y'all for watching. Everybody who commented in the chat, we appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm Ronnie. I'm Fleek. Ron Rico Season. Where can they find you at, Kenny?
Find me on Twitter right now, Grit Splits with a Z, 2 Z's. Also, kind of dipping my feet back into the college scouting thing. Follow us over at Neptune Scouting. Hunter's over there too. And, the college season is, in full gear now. And a lot of these prospects are kind of, showing their colors, showing out. So we're going to try and get you some content over there soon.
Cool. All right, then. Hey, quick note about that. I'm going to ask you what's going on with Will Anderson another time, because that's a guy I got my eye on for possible Falcons draft next season. But we'll get there when we get there. I appreciate you for coming by, Kenny. Talk to you later, brother. Everybody watching, y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all next Wednesday. Peace.